Was that too grotesque for your virgin ears? I mean, everybody knows you're lying on it. So, and I got a few things to say, dude. I want to explain the situation. Okay, look, I come in there, I come into this chick's stream and to her little Twitch stream, and she's really fucking cool, dude. She was probably one of the coolest fucking people I've ever met in my life. Whenever she first started doing this shit, she was so fucking chill and so awesome, and things was beautiful. Things was gorgeous. Things was so like wholesome and so awesome. You know what I mean? Everything was cool. Everything was good. And until man, she started doing these little things where she would say stuff and she would but it was like she would make a statement within a statement, or she would say something within, it would be like a story within a story, and she would change this or change that a little bit, and it was like nobody else knew it but me. You know what I mean? It stood out like a sore thumb, and it got to the point to where I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of slightly obsessing over it in a way. You know what I mean? Not really obsessing over her, but obsessing over the situation. But at first I was kind of like, oh, oh well, whatever. It ain't no big deal. I just kind of went along with it. And
Welcome back, Kevin.
she, but she kept on doing this thing and doing this and doing that. And I was trying to mess back with her and stuff. Maybe and maybe I was like, maybe I was a little too adamant, or maybe I was a little too, maybe I cared a little bit too much, or I was a little too aggressive, or however you want to look at it. But that's besides the point, man. I mean, if you care about something, ain't you supposed to go after it? You know what I mean? Or if you care about something, ain't you supposed to tell? Like, ain't you supposed to let it be known? And that's what the saddest part about all this is because I feel like, man, she loved this shit so much. She loved the fact that she had me like in her corner rooting for her and stuff like that, and she didn't want to give in and make it feel like it was even though, well, we both know, like, she knows and I know, we know what's up. And dude, the very first couple of races and stuff, she had this one little dude in there, and I can't think of his name, man, Brady or something like that. And he was in there, and he's like, oh shit, guys, we got us a celebrity in here. And dude, it was just the way he said it. You know what I mean? And at first, I didn't really think nothing of it, but then I was thinking, ah, whatever. But man, but anyways, I'm sorry I sat here and looked at these cars. But anyways, you didn't see him for a while. Like, you didn't see him. He wasn't nowhere around. It was like like a month or two, and he was just gone. And they was talking about how they had to kick him out and stuff like that. He was causing problems and all this other stuff, and they had to get rid of him basically. But it was funny that it was that specific scenario where that was it. Well, the chick, man, Natalie, she went she went through the trouble to go and I don't know why she did it for, or if if she did it for a specific reason. But she went through the trouble to set up this little meet and greet thing, man, at this Kroger's down in like Mount Juliet, Tennessee. And we was like, dude, I drove all the way. It was only like an hour and a half drive. It was really close to where I lived. And I drove down there and shit, and I got me something to take down there and get signed and stuff like that, and so she could, so I would have something of hers that she could sign. And I did it so that it made it feel like I was, buying her merchandise or buying something of hers that was hers, and just trying to show my supportiveness. You know what I mean? I felt like that. I hated that that had to be the first way that you met somebody, or that was the first way that you had to go see somebody. But it is what it is. I couldn't I couldn't choose it. If I'd have chose it, it'd have been something a lot more laid back and chilled. It would have been some beers and hanging out and just chilling, stuff like that. But that's besides the point. So she sets up this meet and greet, dude, which is coincidentally the only meet and greet she set up in the span of like 8 months or even a year. This one meet and greet that just so happened to be like an hour and 30 minutes away from where I lived. And dude, I stayed up. I was so excited, dude. I stayed up nights, days, a couple days before I went down there and stuff. I was just so excited. I couldn't even sleep. I couldn't get no rest. Dude, I was so excited to go see her. So excited. So excited in the fact that I went a whole 4 or 5 hours before it ever even started. Like I got down, like it started at like 4 or 5 o'clock. I got down there at like 11 or 12, and just kind of chilled in the area, kind of cruising around, checking out this little town that was actually a pretty big town, considering the fact. But I was just, I just kind of sightseeing a little bit, just seeing what was up and stuff. Well, dude, I went, I finally went there. It was right around the time for it to start. I finally went there, went inside, and I was like, "Yo, they got this meet and greet here today." And this girl, she was like, "Oh, I don't know." She asked the dude over. She's like, "Do they have a meet and greet today, or is that tomorrow?" He was like, "Oh no, no, it's today. They down there right now." So, I headed on down that way, and there was probably 20, 25 people in line. So I went back there and went to the back of the line there, and this dude come up to me. He started talking to me. He's like, "Oh yeah, who you here to see? Or are you here to see one of them? And oh, you got something there? You gonna get signed and stuff?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, man, yeah. Ain't no deal at all." And long story short, man, we just sat there and chit chat. He was like, she's kind of got this thing where she may show up, she may not, she may end up not even showing up. I was like, whatever, it is what it is. But finally, she showed up. She walked over and sat down in a chair and stuff, and was just like she just up there doing her thing, whatever. And old dude was sitting back there. He's like, "Yeah, oh yeah, there she is. Look, look, you can barely even see her. She's so short." I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I see her. She had this white hat on, and man, you know what I mean? Hell, all I did was go up there and get my little diecast signed and shit, like, and so and then I was so tired, man. I was so tired and wore out from not sleeping and stuff the couple of days before that, that like I was completely exhausted. And getting there 5 6 hours or 4 or 5 hours early, getting there that early, running around that town. I bet you I went through every department store in that damn town just kind of sightseeing, just checking things out, just browsing. And so I went. So I was wore out. Like dude, I know I could have probably stayed a little bit longer, but I wasn't trying to like ditch out. I wasn't trying to leave, but I did. I don't know why, man. I have no idea. I just it's like, man, I'm just gonna bounce. I'm more slick out. I don't I don't want to be a nuisance. I don't want to be sitting here like I'm like I came all this way, and I'm just kind of chilling, and I didn't want to sit there and distract her while she's doing her thing, stuff like that. So I sat back and just chilling. But I bounced. You know what I mean? And dude, I don't know. Like, I ain't no mind reader or nothing. I have no idea if it upset her. For one, because I'm thinking, okay, so you set this meet and greet up, and it just so happens to be not too far away from where I live. This was after the fact, way, way after. So I was sitting there, I was like, yo, surely to God she didn't, like, she didn't do that just because of me, right? And so, like, dude, which, you're not setting up any other meet and greet for 8 months or 12 months. Well, kind of stuck out a little bit, but I couldn't fathom the idea of her doing that, but not ever being able to talk to somebody, not ever being able to just, say, well, what's up? Like it ain't no big deal. You know what I mean? Like, to me personally, to me, that ain't nothing, dude. That's petty stuff. You know what I mean? That's little bitty stuff. I mean, yeah, the idea of that, it is what it is. I mean, I don't see, like, dude, when I go up and see somebody, there's so many people in this world that see people and they look at them as like superstars. And I'm not saying that she's not a superstar, especially to her audience and stuff like that. But what I'm trying to say is when I see people, I just see a person. You know what I mean? I just see a person that may have did something enough to be in the situation that they're in. I don't look at somebody like they're a lamp or some inanimate object just sitting there, and they're not a real person. They're not even physically there. It's just a representation of this namesake. That's not what I see. I choose to see I choose to see them in a different light. I choose to see them as a person. And that doesn't mean you're not a superstar. That doesn't mean you're not a celebrity. That doesn't mean that you're not big time shit. But to me, it's just you're still a person at the end of the day. You're not some kind of robot. But dude, I know I've been jawing off for that for a minute, but um, it kind of upset me shit because I left there. And then like a week or two later, man, she was posting something on her little Twitter there and showed her sitting there, licking some ice cream and shit, and talking to her friend there, talking about how thank you so much for being such a great friend and all this other shit. And the ice cream, that's what it was for me. It was like the ice cream, like it was almost like implying that, like, look, this is what I missed out on, or this is what you left. Dude, like, chick, I didn't leave because of that. I left because of the simple fact that if it takes you 3 or 4 or 5 months before you can finally do something and set all this other shit up and make this big spiel out of your first encounter, the first time you ever meet somebody, man, to me that's a hell of a lot sillier than just being like, hey yo, do 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 do, yo, hey, what's going on? Like, what? What? Hell, ain't that a lot simpler? I mean, how simple is that? That's pretty damn simple. You ain't got to jump through 25,000 hoops to be able to finally meet somebody or talk to them. So I mean, the whole concept behind it is kind of bonkers because I'm thinking, why go through that much trouble when something could be so much simpler? It could be way, way, extremely more simple. But dude, I don't know, man. I ever since then, man, it seemed like ever since that moment, dude, she just slowly was just changing and changing into this other person. And I don't know if it was because of the dude she was talking to, or this fucking virus that she invited into her life that absolutely does nothing for her, brings nothing to the table, don't do anything at all, don't bring her up, don't, doesn't do nothing but bring her down, bring her company down, bring everything down for her. And man, you had the dude like this is me sitting here being like upset. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not an upset person. I love laughing. I love cutting up. I love joking. I love, cracking jokes, like saying this, saying that. I just like making people laugh. And if you don't understand my sense of humor, then you may not get me. But I don't really like sitting around being super, super duper serious about stuff all the time. I like, sitting back, chilling, and laughing and cutting up. But dude, ever since then, man, she just slowly just, psh, 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 you know. And I try my best, man. I try my best. I told her whatever the case may be, man. I like you need you some real talent in there. You know what I mean? You need somebody that's gonna stand out. You need somebody that's gonna like show you what's up. And man, you can't go in there and expect to steal none of her thunder or steal none of her spotlight, cause boy, she don't like that. I've already found that out firsthand, man. I was in the comment section. I was the coolest dude in the comment section, man. I asked everybody how they doing. I was really super polite to everybody, being like, "Yo, hey, how you doing? Everybody doing good tonight? Yo, anybody need anything from the store? Stuff like that." I just really, really super polite to everybody, and everybody seemed to like me. Everybody was cool and chill and all this other stuff, man. And hell, I got friend requests, I got follows, and all this stuff. 4 or 5 of them. Never even expected it. Never even thought nothing of it. Didn't think nothing negative of it. And I was sitting here thinking, man, can you imagine somebody doing that in the comments section? Could you imagine what they would do? You know what I mean? What they would bring to the table for you, like internally, or when it's all out there on the table. And whether it did or whether it didn't, man, I don't like being overly complicated, or I don't like sitting around making things oh so serious, man, oh so serious. Like, and she got to the point to where she would argue. She would want to argue on the streams, and she would want to get mad and get upset. And I would say something, I say this, and she'd just go off. And it seemed like for some reason it seemed like she was singling me out more than she was anybody else. Because she knew who I was and she knew my name, so she knew, okay, well, this is this person. I don't know. Maybe she went and checked me out. Maybe she went and looked at my profile, looked me up and down, see who I was, or think she saw who I was. But anyways, dude, she blew her fucking top over her saying, well, why you always so mean? Why? Well, sweetheart, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but don't everybody get to live, big, huge, extravagant lifestyle and race NASCAR for a living. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's just unfortunately not it. And some people live in the real world, and some people go through things, and some people have good days and bad days, and like their life could be absolutely shit. So it's kind of silly to sit there and ask somebody why they upset and why they not happy all the time. But my answer is I was trying to be lighthearted about it, and I was like, well, it's because I got multiple personality disorder. Like, ha ha ha. And oh, well, you can't laugh at that. No, you can't laugh. You can't. You're not allowed to laugh at that. No. Block him, Salty. Block him. And I'm sitting here thinking, what? Over a laughing face? For real, dude, over a laughing face, like you're gonna block me over a laughing face, after I've sat here and put in countless hours of getting on the stream with you, getting on your iRaces, helping put on a good show for people. Never once did I ever cause a problem. Never once did I ever instigate anybody. Did I ever cause a scene not one time out of probably 40 or 50 races. You know what I mean? Not one single time, dude. And I mean, I was appreciative of that. I did appreciate it. But, man, to do that to somebody, I didn't have a crazy amount of money to give, but I would give her subscriptions and stuff every now and then. Man, I remember I used to go to Best Buy, and I would buy like a $25 little Twitch card all the time, and I'd be like, hell, this is like, I just, I send her a subscription, or this will be good enough for a couple of subscriptions. And I would give a subscription. When my subscription ran out, I'd give another one, so on and so forth until that was ran out, and then I'd go get another one. I've got them. I've got them up on my shelf right now. Just empty gift cards or whatever. And you know what I mean? Like to do all that, dude, and to get that booty hurt. Like, do you like excuse my language right now, but do you got swamp ass, or is your booty dry? Because if you got swamp ass, go in there and wipe a little bit, and then your booty will be dry. Because shit, fire. Like, who gets that mad over, you know what I mean, a laughing face? Like, who goes out of their way to block somebody off of a laughing face? And dude, I know I said other things. I did. I'll admit I did say one thing that I wish I didn't say, but it was only because of how I felt things was from the very get go. Man, I heard things like Trailer Park Queen. I heard things like Pickle Rick. I heard all kinds of shit, man, from the very beginning, and it just, stuff that I felt like was just not really necessary. So, you know what I mean? I do that, plus on top of all this back and forth and back and forth, and me honestly feeling like she didn't think I was that bad. You know what I mean? She actually thought that I was an okay guy. Dare I even say she might have actually liked me? She may have actually liked me, even though God knows she does. She did. That's besides the point. She couldn't. She didn't want to never let me know. She didn't ever want to let me, find out. She couldn't ever tell me for whatever reason. I don't know. Like, dude, if I think somebody's swell or if I think somebody's cool, I don't care to tell them. Especially if they bring a lot of excitement and bring a lot of energy into my streams, and help me do this. Man, what? And dude, sometimes you don't know what you have till it's gone. Like I've said that a million times over. And dude, just all that shit, when it was just completely unnecessary. There was absolutely no reason for any of it to happen. And that dude, it just, you know what I mean. I Sometimes I wonder, man. I don't know. Maybe people go through things themselves and they just don't want other people to know it. They don't know what they you don't you know they don't know how to express their feelings or let people know, people that they don't know what's going on within their own life. But dude, I'm not. I'm a realist. You know what I mean? I can see through that shit. Like, I can see when a person is being, like, when their life is too good. And I'm not saying that it's not good, but I'm saying that there could be stuff in there that's maybe not good, but you just don't let people know. You know what I mean? You don't ever tell them. You don't ever explain it to them. That's just the nature of it. And dude, I know I went into extreme amounts of detail, but there's a whole other story that I've not even told. There's a whole other story out there that you know that I don't really. It's not that I don't like talking about it. It's just I don't like bragging about it. And and more importantly, I don't want people treating me differently because of it. I don't want to be treated differently because of this certain situation. Just like I wouldn't expect I wouldn't expect her to want nobody to treat her differently because of what she does or who she is or anything like that. But in the small amount of detail that I will say about it, it's that it was a really big thing that I joined her stream. It was a really big thing that I was in there supporting her, motivating her, pushing her on. It was a huge thing, massively huge thing. And so that's really and truthfully why she cared about it so much. But she just couldn't tell nobody. She couldn't tell me. She couldn't come out and say it. She couldn't say nothing about it. When it's like, check everybody, people have normal conversations. They have normal stuff. They talk normally. They're not just sitting here like, just even though you can, even though you can be creative and you can use your imagination and you can come up with some really unique stuff. You know what I mean? But just because you can do that doesn't mean that you have to, or doesn't mean that you can't sit around and just be, just have a normal conversation. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? Your day all right? Yeah, yeah, whatever. Your week all right? Everything good? You good? Stuff like that. That's just normal stuff, everyday stuff. Or then again, like I said, you can be super creative and come up with some of the wildest, craziest stories you could ever imagine, and just have fun with it. You know what I mean? And then do things like write scripts. You can come up with custom scenario. You can come up with wild, the wildest, most craziest things you could ever think of, and like I said, use your imagination or just have a little fun with it. Had to take me a drink, but yeah, like I've jawed on it for a minute now, but man, I've tried my best to just you know I've tried my best to just ignore it, even though I know, man, there's a part of me that just wants to just talk it out, and I mean talk it out. And the only the only the only problem I have with it is if you can't hear nothing back, or if you can't receive anything back or any kind of information back, then what are you supposed to expect? Like I wish to God, man, if I could, I would, you know, I would be in a whole totally different situation if I could read people's minds, and know what they're thinking or know what they're feeling. But unfortunately, I can't. Nobody can. You can make all the hints you want to. You can make any kind of, what I mean. You can make messages within messages, but still, there's only so much that you can do until it's like, are you bullshitting, or are you being real? Was you being real? Was you faking? Was you? And it's not this big old spiel of, oh man, you really got me. You know what I mean? Because I don't think that's what it is. But dude, it. And earlier when I was talking about her, getting upset and blocking me because I put a smiley face when I said I had multiple personality disorder, and she got so upset about that, dude. But here it was like a week later and stuff, and I can still watch the stream just because I'm blocked and I can't type nothing. I can still watch it. Well, I was sitting there watching and stuff, and she's on there, uh, Stockholm syndrome, talking about Stockholm syndrome, and laughing. Just it was just so funny. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, you got Stockholm syndrome, salty. And I'm sitting here thinking, chick, that's not funny. Okay, that is not funny. That's stuff that like soldiers and people in the armed forces, like they actually really truly go through. Like our military and stuff, people in our military, they go to war with the person and they get captured and they end up falling in love with the captain or the people that captured them, the enemies. Then they can come to have Stockholm syndrome. And that's basically what Stockholm syndrome is. It's falling in love with your captors. And people actually go through that stuff. And not only just somebody with a mental thing, even though I don't have no mental thing, but that's we're talking about our military, like our people that protect us, our people that keep us safe at night when we're asleep in our beds, the people that keep us alive and keep our country safe. The United States of America. And that's the saddest part about all of this is, man, is people don't have to be fighting with their brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? We come from the same place. I could have come from any place. I could be in Canada. I could have been in Mexico. I could have been overseas in Europe. I could have been in Asia. I could have been in Australia. I could have been anywhere else in this world. And of course that doesn't make it right, but what I mean. It's not like arguing with somebody over here in your home. I look at every single American out there, and I'm glad that we all share the same freedoms, and we all share the same kind of reality. Even though nowadays, man, some of it is more sad than it is good. That's just what it is, and that's a whole other spiel, man. I don't mean to be so like, dude. The whole concept behind all this is so silly. It really is. I swear to God on everything I love. It's the most silliest shit I've ever seen in my life. Absolutely batshit silly. Whether you do, whether you don't, whether you did, whether you didn't, is completely irrelevant. Like it is not that big of a deal, dude. But I'm the kind of person where I got ideas and I've got visions and I have certain aspects of a situation to where I want you know if I have a part for you to play, or if I have a part in my movie, like I want you to play in my movie. You know what I mean? I want you to have a part in my movie. And dude, I did. I had a hell of a fucking part for you to play. Like one of the most coolest parts you could ever have. No, it didn't require nothing. You didn't have to do no special tasks. You didn't have to do no crazy, stunts. You didn't have to do, anything. You just be cool with somebody and somewhat play along. But man, when I see somebody and I know that they think this way or they think that way and they make a huge big deal over something that's really small, that doesn't isn't really that big of a deal, then that upsets me. But even though I know in the back of my head that this person does care, I know for a fact they care about something. It's quite obvious. They really really care to the point to where they start changing their lifestyle. They start changing what they're doing, where they're living, what they're driving. You know what I mean? Like they start doing all that stuff when a year or two ago you wasn't even nowhere even close to the same person that you are. You know what I mean? Are right now. In the way I envision it, it looks like you went backwards. Like you taking a chick that used to look like the most bougie like female on the planet. I'm talking, toboggans and standing in front of Christmas trees and just looking like $1,000,000. Just absolutely, gorgeous and stuff. But actually looking like a woman. To now, dude, where she might as well be 12 years old. And I have no fucking clue as to why she started doing that. I have no clue. Other than the fact that her friend Timothy over there, and this whole spiel I had with people back in the day, like 4 or 5 years ago, this whole spiel I had with them because basically they was just a bunch of hating ass friends that I had that I thought was really really cool that I was friends with for 15 plus years. Over their house every single day, you know, uh, knew them like the back of my hand, man. I've been around them all the time. Told them every single thing you could ever imagine. Every one of my deepest, darkest secrets. I sat there and explained it to them just like it wasn't nothing. They knew without a doubt. They knew exactly 100%. They knew what kind of person I was. They knew what person. They knew who I was. But yet they felt the need to attack me, and they felt the need to like want to bring me down and want to talk and say some really horrible things about me, even though you know what I mean. Even though, dude, I like I helped raise their kids. I helped them grow up. I watched them grow up. I'd push them on swing sets, and I'd get down on my knees and talk to them, and I would get down to their level and speak to them and have conversations with them while their daddy was sitting there running around, selling weed and shit like that, and doing this and doing that, out there drug dealing and stuff, while I'm basically taking care of his kids part time, and pushing them, like I said, pushing them on swing sets, jumping on trampolines with them, shit like that, man. Around them every single day, dude. Their little daughter, man. She loved me. Like she'd say, "Hey, there's Skaggs." That's what they call me, Skaggs. And she'd say, "Oh, yo, hey, Skaggs." I say, "Hey, how you doing?" And dude, one time, during this, at one time, man, she was sitting in there in the living room, and her dad, mom was in there in the kitchen, and she looked me square in the eyes, and she said, "I wish you was my dad." And dude, that crushed me. Like it crushed my heart for her to say that, because I mean, here she is. She does have a real dad. Her dad's right there in the kitchen, and doing, like, I don't know, smoking, doing something. And here I am, man, like, you know what I mean, watching after them, and helping them grow up, and teaching them to grow up, and teaching them stuff, and talking to them. I sit down and talk to them for 15, 20, 30 minutes, like it wasn't nothing. Just have just conversation, just constant, just going, long drawn out conversations that I didn't have to do, but I did it because that's who I am. And man, I work with kids every single day. I've worked at amusement parks for years. I've worked with kids the size of like 42 inches and under, or 42 inches and above. Like You know what I mean? Like every single day. And for them, man, to say something like that, that dude, they had been obsessing over for the past month or two prior to that, or 3 4 months, had just been obsessing over this one thing, and no, God no, So, dude, it just is what it is, and I was ready to bounce. I was ready to get out of there, and all they was just they just hated on me because I still had options. They hated on me because I still had, you know, I was still free. I could still come and go as I pleased. I could still go do whatever I wanted to. I could go to I could go wherever I wanted to. I didn't have kids to watch after. I didn't have those responsibilities. I didn't have to, I wasn't married, stuff like that. Like if I wanted to go anywhere, stay gone for 4 or 5 hours or 12, I could. Hell, I still can. What's the sense, man, in wasting away your younger years when you were 23, 24, 25? What's the sense in doing all that stuff right then and there when it's scientifically possible for people to have kids in their 30s? So why not live a little bit of your life out and not worry about rushing so much into it? Where's the fire at? Why do people rush? Like, dude, both of them, both of my old friends, but they ain't my friends no more. They went from straight out of high school to a year or two later wanting to get married, and then year or two after that, want to have kids. And so before you know it, you're 23, 24 years old with two kids, and her walking around like her life's over. Like her literally saying that my life's over now. I'm done. She went painted her like went and dyed her hair gray and walked around like she's a damn witch or something. And she like just crazy shit, man, crazy. Like she just wanted to just give up. Oh, my life's over. I'm done. Like what? And I don't know, man. I you know, but that's really and truthfully what it was, man. They just hated on me because of that, and because of things I had going on in my own life, and because of certain things I had going for me, and they just didn't like that. It didn't suit well with them. They felt the need to want to destroy that, or they felt the need to want to, you know what I mean, to bring me down. I mean, dude, it seems like I don't know why. It's almost enough to make a person cry. I swear to God, it is. But it seems like lo and behold, here I am doing it again. Here it is with the same kind of damn scenario. And dude, I've not did nothing to these people. Like who are these people? Why are they why are they attacking me for? What have I did to them? Say a few words over the internet, like cry me a river, dude. Like I was laughing at that shit. Like you're supposed to know that I'm just messing with you. Like I'm if I'm joking with you or I'm cutting up with you, like that's me showing you that I like you. Like if that's me giving you hell. If I give you hell, that's me. That's just somebody just shooting the shit with you, and more than likely they expect you to give them hell back. And that's not talking negative about each other. That's just messing with each other and just having fun. But that builds character. Okay, that's a character building like tool. Like that will build your character up and make you into a stronger person. I promise you it will. And dude, when it comes to stuff like that, when it comes to psychology and just understanding how people perceive the world and how they act and how they respond, man, it's like I can read you like a book. If there's one person in this world that can just know you before they even know you, just by the way, just by studying a little bit about you and just getting, kind of sitting back and watching you, it's me. I can get a pretty good idea of what a person is or who a person is. I know I've sat here and jawed on long enough. I don't even know how long I've been going, but the sad reality about all this is, man, is I feel like some shit happened that just didn't have to happen. And it was simply because a person, couldn't take enough time to want to get to know somebody. They couldn't take enough time, which is a luxury that we all don't have. You see what I'm saying? Like, to me, it blows my mind, man, that people would do stuff like this. But let me ask you a question: if a person was on their deathbed and they didn't have but a week or two left to live, would you care then if somebody wanted to talk to you? Like if somebody wanted to speak to you and have a conversation with you, would you have one with them? Or would you just be just the same way you are right now, just swinging your nose up in the air? And I hate saying that stuff too, because I don't know how, I really don't know how people are. Some people, man, they see the camera rolling, or they see the see somebody recording them, and or they know that somebody's recording them, or they know that they're making a video. They're the nicest, politest people in the world, and as soon as they get off the camera, they're just absolute dicks, just absolute assholes. You know what I mean? Some people are, and some people will. Some people are just like that. But man, I wish people would take the time to get to know somebody before they dictate their opinion about them, or before they sit there and say, "Well, I've already got this assumption about this person, or I already think this person's like this or this person's like that." No, like take the time to get to know them, and then base your opinion off of that. If a person is worth getting to know, exactly, like do it that way. Like some people in this world, you may not find interesting enough to want to get to know. Some people in this world you may find super interesting. But don't let something like time stand in the way of that, because like I said, time is a luxury that all people don't have. The sad reality is, man, people could, anybody could get in a car, go drive down the road, and you have a drunk driver, or something happen to your vehicle, or God knows what, and be in an accident, and have something happen to you like that, and like I said, God forbid that happen to anybody. I don't care who you are, but still, you know what I mean. That's still to the point to where, hey, that's pretty bad. It's bad when when something, man, is as simple as taking 5 or 10 minutes out of your day, or even 30 or an hour. Just taking a little bit of time out of your day to get to know somebody, or to even take the initiative to want to get to know somebody. You have 365 days in a year, okay? That's 1 year. 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. How many days is that? Thousands of days. Well, each one of those days you got 24 hours. So I mean, you do the math. If you can't take 30 minutes out of your busy schedule to want to get to know somebody or even try to get to know somebody before you dictate an opinion about them or say, well, I already think this is that, or I already think this is what this is. I think this person's like this. Quit it. Quit it. No, like you don't. You know what I mean? You don't. Hell, you don't. People are just people. People ain't perfect. People make mistakes. Sometimes, I make mistakes on purpose. I just do it just to show people that, hey, I am human. I do make mistakes. Sometimes I do it square on purpose, just to see what a person says, just to see what their response is. Because everything isn't always perfect and everything isn't always great. So you might as well go ahead and throw a situation in there like that just to see how a person acts or see what a person does. Kind of push their buttons a little bit, maybe even kind of make them angry, and just see how they respond to it. See if it's worth going through the trouble of even doing it. But I've jawed on long enough, man. I don't even know how long I've been on here. Probably a good 30 minutes or 40 minutes, something like that. But just wanted to come on here and say a few words. Just is what it is, man. I don't want to be mean. I never wanted to be mean to a single person, dude. I never want to be mean to anybody. I just give what I receive. You know what I mean? And maybe people are messing with you too. Maybe they're just bullshitting with you too. I have no idea. But certain things, man, it's just like you can't go backwards in life. You can only go forwards. And you can't go back to yesterday, but what you do today can affect tomorrow. And so on and so forth. What you do next week will affect next month. So always stay looking forward. No, don't focus your time so much in the past, because you can't go back. You can just go forward. Even though I swear to God, man, as crazy as it is to say, sometimes I think time is flowing in reverse, or maybe it flows in reverse for certain people, because I've seen things that I can't even sit here and explain. And I think instead of time moving in a sense that everything is new, me personally, I think what's going to happen has already happened, or like what is in the future has already happened, but we're just kind of moving in a backwards direction. So it's like tomorrow, whatever's going to happen tomorrow has already happened, but yet we're moving. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's a crazy concept to try to grasp your head around, but instead of time moving forward, I think it's actually moving backwards, or at least for some people. Because anything that happens, I think that it's supposed to happen. Like, if this happens, well, evidently that was what was supposed to happen. Even though you can control the outcome of something, no matter what it is, no matter what you choose to do, that's what was supposed to be done. You could say, "Oh no, I control my destiny. I'm gonna go do this right now." Well, if you go do it, that's what was supposed to happen. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's been certain scenarios, man, where I'll do something or I'll see something, like even on the internet or a video or a song, and it's almost like I get this really like I get this deja vu feeling, extremely bad. Like I get this really bad deja vu, like I have already seen what I'm sitting here staring at. It's wild, man. I wish to God every person out there could experience this because it's one of the craziest things I've ever felt in my life. But I can literally see something or notice something, and I feel like I have seen this before, or like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't happen all the time. It's just very seldom, but very occasional. But deja vu, or true deja vu, is more of a sense of you doing something that you did before, but yet it brings you back to that time. Or like maybe you smell a certain smell and it reminds you of this other thing. That's what deja vu is supposed to mean. But this deja vu specifically is seeing it unfold right then and there. Seeing it happen right there in that moment and feeling like you have already seen this. It's crazy, man. It's wild. But like I said, I was just coming in here to philosophize you a little bit and tell you a little bit of how I was thinking. It's oh man, my mic's been muted this whole time. I'm just kidding. That would have sucked, wouldn't it? But I was just coming out here to say a few little words and stuff. And anybody sees it, they do. If they don't, they don't. I don't really care. I don't care about numbers. I mean, the only numbers I care about are the big ones. But I just come in here to say a few little words and just kind of shoot the shit a little bit, so to speak. But if you got any kind of love off of it, if you did, you did. If you didn't, you did. Or vice versa. Like, yeah, I appreciate you making it this far. But that's about all I have to say for tonight. So, chuck the deuces.